Welcome to the Master's Radiation, from the Unveiled Mysteries by the Ascended Master Saint-Germain, Vegetarian, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Guy Warren Ballard was a United States mining engineer and co-founder, together with his wife Edna Annie Wheeler Ballard, of the I Am spiritual movement, inspired by his life-changing meeting with the Ascended Master Saint-Germain. One morning in 1930, Mr. Ballard, led subconsciously by his inner spiritual longing, went on a hike on beautiful Mount Shasta, located in the western US, where, according to legend, a group of divine adepts reside, or could be seen. His sincerity and deep longing for the truth led to a profound experience that day. He was blessed by the appearance of the beloved Master Saint-Germain. Following this enlightening encounter, Mr. Ballard devoted his life to spreading the Master's wisdom according to his capacity. From Master Saint-Germain's dictation and teachings, Mr. Ballard wrote a series of books under the pseudonym Godfrey Ray King. Master Saint-Germain's imparted spiritual knowledge was the basis for many lectures given by Mr. Ballard, as well as for the founding of the I Am religious activity in the early 1930s. By 1938 it had up to 1 million followers. Today, the volumes documenting the precious mysteries revealed by the Ascended Master to Godfrey Ray King are still a fascinating spiritual gem for many across the globe. The three most famous volumes are titled Unveiled Mysteries, The Magic Presence, and The I Am Discourses. Ascended Master Saint-Germain is deeply venerated among the Theosophical Society as he represents the establishment of the Aquarian Age, an era that we are privileged to be witnessing. He is also identified with the Count of Saint-Germain, a mysterious European figure who possessed a great inner knowledge and was called immortal by some due to his everlasting youth. Let us now open the pages of this fascinating documentation in Guy Warren Ballard's or Godfrey Ray King's book Unveiled Mysteries. In this part, we will discover intriguing ways that the expanding of human consciousness and love work miracles. Excerpt from Chapter 1, Meeting the Master. One morning on awakening, I found a golden card lying on the table near my couch. It looked like a piece of metallic gold, and on it, in beautiful shaded script of a lovely violet color, was just one short sentence. Be at our trysting place on the mountain at 7 in the morning. Signed, Saint-Germain. I put this card away carefully, and could scarcely wait the intervening time, so great was my expectancy. Early the next morning, while preparing a lunch, there came a distinct impulse. Not to take anything with me, I obeyed, and decided to trust that my needs would be supplied directly from the Universal. Light of heart, I was soon on my way, determined not to miss any opportunity to ask questions if permitted. As I approached the appointed place, my body became lighter and lighter, until by the time I was within a quarter of a mile, my feet scarcely touched the ground. There was no one in sight, so I sat down on a log to wait for Saint-Germain, feeling no fatigue whatsoever, although my hike had been about 10 miles. As I contemplated the wonderful privilege and blessing that had come to me, I heard a twig crack and looked around expecting to see him. Imagine my surprise when not 50 feet away I saw a panther slowly approaching. My hair must have stood on end. I wanted to run, to scream, anything, so frantic was the feeling of fear within me. It would have been useless to move, for one spring from the panther would have been fatal to me. My brain whirled, so great was my fear, but one idea came through clearly and held my attention steady. I realized that I had the mighty presence of God right within me and that this presence was all love. This beautiful animal was a part of God's life also, and I made myself look at it directly in the eyes. Then came the thought that one part of God could not harm another part, and I was conscious of this fact only. A feeling of love swept over me and went out like a ray of light directly to the panther, and with it went my fear. The stealthy tread ceased and I moved slowly toward it, feeling that God's love filled us both. The vicious glare in the eyes softened. The animal straightened up and came slowly to me, rubbing his shoulder against my leg. I reached down and stroked the soft head. He looked up into my eyes for a moment and then laid down and rolled over like a playful kitten. The fur was a beautiful dark reddish brown, the body long, supple and of great strength. I continued to play with him, and when I suddenly looked up, Saint-Germain stood beside me. "My son," he said, "I saw the great strength within you, or I would not have permitted so great a test. You have conquered fear. My congratulations. Had you not conquered the outer self, I would not have allowed the panther to harm you, but our association would have ceased for a time. I did not have anything to do with the panther being there. It was part of the inner operation of the great law, as you will see before the association with your newfound friend ceases. Now that you have passed the test of courage, it is possible for me to give much greater assistance. Each day you will become stronger, happier, and express much greater freedom." He held out his hand, and in a moment there appeared 4 little cakes of a beautiful golden brown, each about 2 inches square. He offered these and I ate them at his direction. They were most delicious. Immediately I felt a quickening, tingling sensation through my entire body, a new sense of health and clearness of mind. Saint-Germain seated himself beside me and my instruction began. Excerpt from Chapter 2, The Sahara Desert. Instead of going forth from the body as in your recent experience, today we will use the projected consciousness, he remarked, as he placed the thumb of his right hand between my eyes and the rest of his fingers over the top of my head. A feeling like a powerful electric current passed over my entire body. Removing his hand, he continued, "I wish you to fix firmly in mind and recall frequently for contemplation the fact that the laws I explain and teach you to use are to bring you into a condition of conscious mastery over all forces and things on earth. This means that, no matter what is being experienced, you are always at every instant in complete conscious control of your own mind and body, and able to use your own free will at all times. In this state of projected consciousness, you are completely conscious and have full mastery over all your faculties, every instant. There is nothing whatsoever about any of this instruction and its use that is either of the trance or hypnotic condition at any time, for in both trance and hypnosis, the experiencing individual's conscious will is not functioning, which is a most dangerous and disastrous activity to anyone who permits it to take place in his mind and body. There is no conscious mastery or dominion in trance or hypnotic practices, and they are most uncertain and dangerous to the soul growth of the one who permits such practice. Please understand thoroughly that the conscious control, mastery, and use of the forces and things on this earth should at all times be under the direction of your inner or God self, through the perfect cooperation and obedience of all outer faculties in both mind and body, to that inner guidance. There is no such thing as mastery without this, and those known as the Ascended Masters never intrude any activity upon the God-given prerogative of the individual's free will. A student may be given the experience of projection if an ascended master chooses to expand his consciousness temporarily, so that he experiences things happening in 2 or more places at the same time. In such a condition, the student's faculties are completely under the control and direction of his own free will. At every moment, he is fully conscious and active, wherever his body may be, and also at the place to which the ascended master chooses to direct his attention for the instruction. The reason an ascended master temporarily raises the consciousness of the student is to show him how he may do the same thing for himself by his own effort, consciously and at will. For more information on the Ascended Master Saint-Germain, the I Am teachings, and Godfrey Ray King's books, please visit saintgermainfoundation.org. Divine viewers, we appreciate your presence for today's words of wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of The Master's Radiation, from the Unveiled Mysteries by the Ascended Master Saint-Germain, Vegetarian.